Day 2 in the books, the 2 work days for this week. 2 really good work days. Full pads yesterday, a lot against each other, about 30 minutes of live work against each other. We just feel like we've got to clean some things up and get some things better. But I felt like the team went out and worked really hard yesterday and today. Yesterday, the primary emphasis was on the running game and what we're trying to get done on both sides of the ball. And today, it was a little bit more on the passing game and some of the third down situations. And we'll have a chance to watch these films and clean up the game plans, and then hopefully get out there tomorrow and polish some of them up and get them ready to go for Saturday. I like the team. I like the way they're working right now. I like their attitude right now. I know coming off of a loss, everybody's disappointed. But I said this earlier, I also think that they can see that film and see that we shot ourselves in the foot as much as we got beat. That we control a lot of things that happened in that game Saturday, and we can get better as a football team. And that's what this week has really been all about. And they've been working hard. A lot of distractions this week, obviously with the rivalry game against Lafayette, and then you've got first day of classes start tomorrow. So tomorrow will be our first day of class and starting to get in the swing of classes and football schedule, and then get over here with what we have to do. I haven't had a very good first day of practice on the first day of school. I mean, the players are trying to get into their routine and everything, and it makes it a little bit difficult, but we're going to have to fight through that. But we're excited about having the opportunity to play again this Saturday.
Simple question. How do you get Kenneth Dixon going Saturday?
Well, you either hand it to him or throw it to him. I think it's about maybe pitch it to him. Maybe, I mean, we got to get him. We got to get the ball under his arms. I think we're going to play a good defensive football team, and they play a very similar front that we just played. And I think that's the strength of their defensive football team is their defensive line. But I also think some of the things that Alabama did and kind of opened up the passing game and kind of took that away. But we got to find a way to get them moving, find a way to get them working.
How do you feel coming off this week? I know you said you like the attitude and the effort, but anything specifically, what group, like your linebackers that maybe struggled a little bit against OU, how have they responded?
No, I think the linebackers have had a good week of practice. They've done a really nice job. And, with so much in our middle linebacker, Tony Johnson, he has his first college start Saturday, kind of like Cody Sokol did, kind of like a lot of guys on this team did. And, I think you make a lot of progress from the first one to the second one. And as much as you tell yourself, I'm not going to get caught up in the moment, I'm going to be focused and dialed in, and you go out there and you start running around. And that's part of the process. And you see it happen not just with Tony, but with most people that have the opportunity to step into their first start. And we talked about who played really well. Xavier Woods was a 12-game starter. Kentrell Bryce has been starting for all last year, for a couple of years really, with as much as he's been playing. I said Levander Liggins. You look at the way Houston Bates played with his experience. You look at the way Dora played with his experience. You go to offense and you say Sterling Griffin, Trent Taylor. All these guys that have played a lot of games are the ones that really stood up in that game. And I think that was a great experience for us, and it'll prepare us walking into this game. But I think when I say I really like the attitude and the way they're working, I see a lot of progress. I say Kirby Wixon had one of his best days of practice yesterday with some of the things he's doing. When you go back and watch the film, I think guys are getting better. They're buying in. I think as much as anything, they were able to see this film and see where they can improve and get better, and they're coming out and they're working hard at it.
I know it's only the second week, but given the schedule that y'all have this first five weeks of the season, is this game kind of creeping into that must-win territory where you need to get at least one under your belt and try to go from there?
No, I've said this all along. It's going to be a tough road. And I've said we've got as many new guys as we have offensively. We're going to have to continue to gel and work. It's a 12-game season. I mean, they're not going to cancel it after next week. We still got to go play 10 games after this one. And I don't think in the big picture of the season, it's going to be as much whether we win or lose this one. If we win this one and lose the next 10, then I would say this is not a must-win game. I said it's going to be more how we respond to the next 10 games after this than how we respond to what happens in a win or loss. But, no, I'm not in a must-win in a 12-game season, week 2, with a lot of new players.
Is this game, I guess you call it a quote-unquote rivalry game? There's some Tech alums that would disagree, and I know that you know that, but would you say that it's almost more about pride and recruiting this week than it is almost anything?
You look at this series, we've played each other 85 times. I don't know how many games you have to play to constitute a rivalry, but we've played each other 85 times. It's 46, 33, and 6, I believe, is what the records are in this series. And when you've played somebody 85 times, and they're 3 hours away from you, and they're in your own state, and you see each other in the recruiting wars and things like that. I mean, I don't know what rivalry is. I've never had the chance to play them. I've never had an opportunity to experience this. But when I look at them and the success they've had in the Sun Belt, and the way that they have been, I think, co-champions 3 years in a row, or they won it outright maybe in one of those years, but they've been at least co-champions 3 years in a row and had 3 9-win seasons, and they've had success in the league that they're in, and they have a lot of good players, and we've played 85 times and we're in the same state. That's why I call it a rivalry game. And so I'm excited about it. I think Coach Hudspeth's done a really good job in building that program and the success that they've had, and we're going to line up and play the games to see where we both are.
Defensively, when you look at especially the front line and the importance it's going to be to get a push in on the offensive line for ULL, was it more looking at working on the technique of footwork and where the hands are, or more about getting to the assignment where they are in the field?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit, when I talk about discipline and defense, it's about holding your gap. And I keep saying this, it wasn't defiant. I mean, they played hard. I mean, our team played really hard at Alabama. And when the guard's 6'9", 340 pounds, that has a little bit to do with it. I'm certainly not going to say that didn't have an outcome on the effect, but when you're trying to hold your gap, and then the guy would see the ball start to go the other way, and he'd cross a face to go run to the ball, and he'd cut back right in the gap that he just left. And then those big, like I said, 6'9", 340-pound linemen, you can't get back across. And that's where we just have to have the discipline in our game. So, yeah, it's about penetrating. I mean, I look at Oklahoma, they're one of the top 5 teams in the country. And from what I saw Saturday, they proved an awful lot to me with the way the quarterback threw the ball, and as big as their offensive line in, as many backs as they have running downhill, and the speed of Shepard out on the perimeter. We played a really good football team. And I said we'd learn a lot about our football team the first half of the season. And I think what we're learning right now is very valuable for us to make the progress we want to make, to be the type of team we want to be for the second half of the season. The ultimate goal and what we're trying to do is compete for a conference championship. And I think a lot of these non-conference games are going to prepare us for that, which is why I don't think you put all your eggs in a basket in just one football game. That's a non-conference game.
Saw McDonald back out there. What was the reason for his absence, and what role does he have going forward? Will he play Saturday, or does he have to earn that spot back?
Thomas?
Yeah.
No, he will not play Saturday. And he'll be out there, and we'll start practicing and see where he is.